Oh, that is really pretty. Wow, that is beautiful. I don't like it. I don't. I'm trying to think of something nice to say. Ooh, now that is nice. It's just not right for me. I do not like that at all. I've smelled so many fragrances already this year, and today I am sharing the best and worst new fragrance launches of 2024 so far. Now, I obviously haven't tried everything. I'm missing a few notable recent launches like the new Parfum de Marly I haven't tried yet, and I'm planning to film maybe a fragrance shopping vlog sometime next week if the weather permits, because I'd like to go out to Sephora, to the department stores, sniff around, try all of the new things. There's even an incredible niche fragrance boutique here in Miami that I've never taken you to. I've only been there once. So I have some catching up to do, and if I've missed anything really incredible that you love, please let me know down below in the comments. We're starting with the best new fragrance launches of the year so far. These are in no particular order. I don't have my one favorite. Like in 2023, we had Silk Santal from Kayali, which for me was hands down the #1 best fragrance launch of the year. Very easy for me to pinpoint. In fact, mark your calendars if you missed it because it's coming back on October 1st. You can already sign up to be notified on the Sephora website. My hope and dream is that it smells 100% identical because I love the fragrance so much and I would love to have a backup bottle. I know that sounds ridiculous having such a huge collection, but it is my one favorite and I find myself not wearing it and not spritzing it because I didn't want to go through it. But it is absolutely incredible, a fantastic fragrance. Take your opportunity, sign up to be notified. It was the best. This is a brand new launch from Hermes. It's called Borenia. It's a new favorite, an incredible fragrance. I've always wanted to have an Hermes fragrance that I loved because Hermes is such an iconic luxury brand. It feels like they should have a really strong line of fragrances, but there has never been one that truly stood out to me and I felt like, yes, I would love to wear that every day until Borenia. This was exactly what the brand needed. I feel like this is going to become their go-to fragrance. It has the potential to become the iconic scent of Hermes. The name comes from Borenia leather, which is the rarest leather used in Hermes handbags and leather goods. It's very soft, very supple, and the shape of the fragrance bottle is like a woman's wrist, and this is meant to emulate the Collier de Chien bracelet that they sell. So a lot of beautiful details built into the fragrance itself, but the scent is really what sells me on this fragrance. It's very soft, woody, incredibly elegant, very wearable, a little bit fresh and clean, but not soapy. This is a great everyday, effortlessly chic, always appropriate, signature scent level fragrance. Every time I smell this, I just think of the quintessential Hermes woman, carrying her Birkin bag with her Hermes accessories, going out for the afternoon, and the fragrance is just that perfect last layering piece to pull it all together. Acro Smile is easily one of the most unique fragrances in my entire collection. This one caught me off guard. I don't have exceptionally high expectations from Acro. I think all of the fragrances are really nice, but I had never found one that truly spoke to me, moved me, and I thought, yes, I would be so excited to douse myself in that fragrance until I discovered Smile. And the first time I sprayed this, I thought to myself, whoa, I don't know how I feel about this, and it wasn't until it dried down on my skin and I realized I became addicted to it. I kept smelling it, kept smelling it. I don't just like it. I love this fragrance. I need to share this fragrance. People need to know about Acro Smile, and it truly is a happy scent. When you first spritz it, it's got a lot of citrus. It has a lot of zing. It's a little bit like, woo, it awakens the senses a little bit. But then as it dries down, it has sage. It has so many other kind of relaxing elements to it that it reminds me a little bit of a spa day, sunshine on the skin, just reading a book, cozy in a blanket in a secret garden somewhere. It's very tranquil, just very zen, very happy. I love this. Amber Vanilla from the Seven Virtues is so incredibly good. Now, this would be a great transition fragrance from summer to fall. It's not so moody, heavy that it has to be worn only in fall, winter. So I think it's light enough that it can be worn anytime. It's incredibly wearable, easy to love. You get warm and cozy from the amber, a little soft sweetness from the vanilla, not overly edible gourmand, not overly sweet, just really enjoyable. And it's so funny because I recently gifted a friend of mine a little travel spray of this fragrance, and she said to me the other day, that fragrance that you gave me is so amazing. It's so delicious. I usually love fresh and clean fragrances. I usually steer clear of vanilla, and I absolutely loved the amber vanilla. I thought that is so funny. As a vanilla lover, I love this. It's kind of interesting to hear that even people who don't necessarily look for vanilla fragrances can also appreciate this fragrance. It really goes to show that even a more simple, more predictable fragrance can be exceptional. Amber Vanilla has what it takes to give Vanilla Woods a run for its money this year. That's usually my go-to vanilla fragrance, especially for layering in the fall, winter months. But now that we have Amber Vanilla, I feel like this doesn't need to be layered with anything. It's that easy grab. Now that summer has officially ended, I don't think we'll see any other tropical fragrances launched this year. Miami Nectar from Ellis Brooklyn is definitely my favorite tropical launch of the year. This is the perfect Miami fragrance, tropical fragrance. It's like a pina colada in a perfume. It has coconut, pineapple, frangipani. It's sweet, it's juicy, it's luscious, slightly aquatic, a little woody in the dry down, just a fun-loving fragrance, easy to spritz on anytime. It's great for this hot weather that we still have here. I actually wore this just the other day to meet my friend for lunch. This is my fragrance style. I feel like this fragrance was made for me. It's such a beautiful new launch this year. And I would say Miami Nectar is my favorite fragrance from Ellis Brooklyn. I picked up my travel spray from Sephora, but I do think this is full bottle worthy. I would like to go through maybe some of my other travel sprays, go through some of my other full-size fragrances, or maybe even do an end of the year declutter before I invest in the full size, but I do see a full-size bottle of this in my future. It's that good. Another great summery frangipani pick would be Frangipani Flower from Jo Malone London. This is sunshine, radiant, a warm floral fragrance. This is definitely more straightforward, a little bit more singular. I would say this is sort of musky floral. Doesn't have that fruity pina colada component or the coconut of Miami Nectar, but still a great luscious floral tropical fragrance. Both of these beautiful iridescent bottles make my best of list as well. They're very different. Starting with the Kayali Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42. I was going back and forth on this one only because it's not really my personal preference. I wouldn't say this is my tippy top favorite. It's a little bit young, fun, girls' night out. I could see younger women, college age women really loving this fragrance. It's just a little bit too sugary sweet for me. It's the bubblegum. That bubblegum note is so long lasting and intense. Now, the good news is it doesn't last forever. So when I do wear this, after a while, once it really dries down, I'm left with a just light, sort of fresh, sugary sweetness. If it didn't have that bubble gum, I think I would like it a little bit more. It just makes it feel a little bit too youthful. Like, I don't know where I'm wearing a bubblegum fragrance in real life. Elysium by Roja, on the other hand, is very different. I actually think this bottle doesn't quite suit the fragrance for some reason. The fragrance is a very beautiful, very elegant, more sophisticated musky peach. That would be the best way to describe it. If you like peach notes, if you like musky fragrances, you will probably really like this. This to me is a little bit more mature, more elegant. I would say this is a daytime fragrance, but could be worn for a special occasion during the day. Could be a business brunch, work brunch, some sort of occasion where you're getting a little bit more dressed up. You want to dress to impress, but it's daytime. I think Elysium would be a great fragrance because it smells really nice, but it's not bold, it's not overpowering, it's not overly sexy or flashy. Even though the bottle sort of looks very flashy and sort of fun and flirtatious, the fragrance is a little bit more understated, very feminine, very beautiful. In this very moment right now, if I was forced to choose one favorite fragrance launch of the year so far, it would probably be Creed Queen of Silk. This is such an exceptional wow fragrance. It blew me away. From the first time I sprayed this fragrance, it was instant love, and I've just grown to love it and appreciate it even more. And it's one that I have gotten pretty decent use out of, considering I think this is a heavier fragrance, something that would maybe lean more towards fall. Doesn't have to be fall winter, but I wouldn't say this screams spring or summertime. It just smells royal. The name Queen of Silk is the perfect name for this fragrance because it smells very expensive. It smells very high quality, luxury niche, unlike anything else that you're going to smell from other brands. It's a little bit fruity, a little bit vanilla, a little musky. It's honestly perfect. It is such an incredible fragrance. Creed also just launched 2 new amber fragrances, Delphinus and Centaurus. These are both really beautiful as well. Perfect timing going into fall winter. Centaurus is a little bit more masculine, a little bit spicy, still really beautiful. The first time I tried it, I thought, I wonder if I can wear this. I'm still not sure. I think I will most likely gift this to my husband. I think he would get more use out of it, but it is a gorgeous, spicy, ambery fragrance. And then Delphinus, this one I'm keeping for myself. This is a very beautiful, sort of the softer side of amber, very wearable, a little bit feminine, but I would say both of these are unisex fragrances. This one's softer, a bit sweeter, very unexpected. When I heard 2 new amber fragrances and I unboxed these and I looked at the vibrant color, the bold shades of the bottle, I thought these were going to be really deep and intense heavy hitters, but this is not an intense heavy hitter. Could be a daytime amber fragrance as well. It reminds me a little bit of like a softer, sweeter Amber Nuit from Dior. Bloom Tea from Hermetica is another one of my favorite new launches. One of the most unique, very herbal fragrances, which is a category maybe I just haven't explored very much, but I don't have a lot of herbal, sage, kind of like spice cabinet type of fragrances in my collection. So this is a real standout, and it smells so delicious, so incredible. It's light and clean, smells like a spa retreat or a fancy luxury yoga retreat, somewhere far away where you are not thinking about work or stress at all. Even though it's called Bloom Tea, I don't actually get a ton of tea. I think there is tea in it, but it's not overly strong. Now, this is a tea forward fragrance. This is Valentino Green Stravaganza. This is one of my favorite flankers of the year. This has a very strong smoky black tea note, but it also has vanilla and jasmine. So it is a little bit relaxing, a little bit whimsical, like a daydream. So pretty. This is my favorite Valentino Born in Roma edition. In 2023, there were so many incredible flankers. We have some incredible flankers in 2024 as well, including Valentino Green Stravaganza. I feel like it's sort of cheating or maybe unfair to the fragrance to consider this a flanker. They could have just come out with a new line because it's so different from the original. It doesn't smell like any of the other Donna Born in Roma fragrances. It's relaxing, it's grounding, and it's casual. You can just throw this on anytime. You're always going to smell appropriate, but it's also really elegant at the same time. It's not just a throwaway fragrance. When I wear this, I feel like it adds a sophisticated touch to the outfit. Prada Paradox Virtual Flower. We haven't talked about this yet, which is funny since I was sent this fragrance at least a few weeks, maybe even a couple months before it launched, because I was working on a campaign with Sephora. When I first tried this fragrance, I was like, oh, I really like it. But once I wore it on my skin, I was like, no, I don't just really like it. This is way better than the original Prada Paradox. This is my favorite. And that's the case with all of these flankers. They're not just as good as the original, they're better than the original. That's sort of the box they have to check. There's a higher qualification for flankers in order to make the best launch of the year list, but Virtual Flower, again, smells so different from Prada Paradox that I think it could be its own fragrance. Like, I think if you smelled this, you wouldn't necessarily even think of Paradox. I haven't tried the Intense or the Le Parfum. I only have the original Prada Paradox Eau de Parfum. Virtual Flower is insanely good. If you love a classic floral fragrance, you will love this. It's luminous, it's bright, it's sort of sparkling. And I do really like the story how they used AI to replicate a fresh jasmine bud. The same is true for Flower Bomb Tiger Lily from Victor and Rolf. This isn't Flower Bomb, it's a totally different fragrance. And it's so pretty. It's tropical. It has mango and coconut milk. Oh, you know what? This is one of my favorite tropical fragrances as well. Earlier I said Miami Nectar was the best tropical fragrance. I would say this is in the running. It's so soft and sweet and sensual. So gorgeous. I love this. Better than the original in my opinion. I love the coconut milk. This is such a perfect Miami night out fragrance, a date night fragrance, great summer fragrance. Kind of reminds me of sunset. I was not expecting to love this fragrance. This is Angel Phantasm. It's incredible. I haven't even looked at the notes. There's something fruity in there. A little fruity, a little tropical. Very different than the original Angel, but I can sort of see how they're related. They're distant cousins. I would say this is the best Angel fragrance, period. It's really good. I'm excited to wear this. I have one new favorite from Chanel. Chanel also came out with the flanker of Gabrielle. It was Gabrielle Low. I tried it at the boutique. I liked it. I thought it was really nice, but it didn't really blow me away. I still prefer the Gabrielle Essence to the Low, to the original, but Comete is so interesting. It's cherry blossom. It's bright. It's happy. It's clean. It's a little bit sudsy, soapy, but it has so many other things going on. To me, this smells like a sparkling floral mixed with a bubble bath. Just a combination of the two. It's so much fun. Did you know Cirque du Soleil came out with a fragrance this year? This is Cirque du Soleil L'Eau de Parfum. The bottle is very interesting. The entire concept, incredibly unique. I saw other fragrance influencers received this earlier in the year, and I was curious because everyone said it smelled amazing, and they offered to send me a bottle, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to try it. It is actually really good. It reminds me of like cookies. I don't know what kind of cookie, but it does sort of remind me of like a lemon vanilla wafer, maybe. I like it. It's a bit gourmand, not overly sweet, but I would say it leans feminine, and it has a little bit of like a mysterious quality, which feels fitting for Cirque du Soleil. I'm not quite sure where these fragrances belong on the list either. I really like them, but I wouldn't necessarily say they are two of the best fragrance launches of the year. I don't feel comfortable recommending them quite so strongly, although I do really like them and appreciate them myself, but they're also better than middle of the table. This is the new launch from Replica, Afternoon Delight. I think a lot of people are going to give me pushback on this. This might be a bit controversial. Most of the reviews I've seen of this fragrance say it's not very good. So I didn't have high expectations whenever I smelled this the other day. And I actually think it's really pretty, but it's very light. It's very light. It's very milky, slightly gourmand, but it's so light. And I don't mind it. I don't think it's bad. I actually think it's one of the better Replica fragrances. As much as I like a lot of the Replica perfumes, I don't get overly moved by any of them. There's not one that I think, wow, that is like the best thing that I've ever smelled. They're not meant to be head-turning showstoppers. They're meant to be a little bit nostalgic. They take you to a certain place, a certain time. They remind you of a specific person or memory. And this is exactly what that fragrance does. Afternoon Delight. It's like sitting at the table in the afternoon with a cup of tea and your Madeleine cookie, and you're just having a peaceful moment to yourself. And that's where I would wear this fragrance, maybe at home. It's somewhere in the middle for me. I really like it. I probably like it more than I should. It's one of my favorites from the brand, but I would still say this might fall into the good, not great abyss. Meanwhile, Tuberose Astral from Maison Crivelli is completely opposite. This is a very intense, ferocious roller coaster of a fragrance. When you first smell it, It's incredible, decadent, delicious. It's tuberose, but it's sort of spicy. It's like, wow. And then as it dries down, it changes so much, and I just get a nostril full of pencil shavings, and it's all I can smell, and it sort of chokes me a little bit. We're still in the good phase. Just give it a minute. But then once it dries down even further, it becomes sort of smooth and creamy again. So this fragrance is a tough one for me. As much as I really like it at the beginning and I really like it once it's been on my skin for a while, it's that middle dry down section that sort of turns me off. I know it's special. I'm not sure if it's a best new launch of the year. I'm a bit perplexed by this fragrance. I recently tried the new Candied Lychee from the Seven Virtues. I feel like I've discovered that I don't really love lychee. I'm not sure what's going on. The Candied Lychee I like, but it's a little bit too earthy, or there's something about it. I don't know if it's the lychee note, but it makes me think of Lychee Rose from Nest. That's another one. I had really high expectations and I just couldn't handle it. I felt like it was so intense. There's something about maybe lychee that I don't get on with as much as I would like. So I think this is really nice. I think I need to wear it a little bit more. It has lychee, peony, and vanilla. I love peony. I love vanilla. So I feel like maybe it's the lychee that's throwing me. For now, I would put this in the good, not spectacular category. It's very pretty. I like it. I don't love it. I feel that way about these flankers as well. I got to try this YSL. It's the Lieb Flowers and Flames. It's very soapy to me. I feel like I don't get a lot of the coconut. I think this was supposed to be like a summery interpretation. The bottle is really beautiful. I love the YSL Lieb bottle, but there was really no point in launching this. I don't think it's different enough. You know, I understand wanting to keep it in the family as much as I appreciate flankers that are different. This just feels so repetitive. I don't pick up on really any major differences with the Flowers and Flames. I also have this new Alien. I don't know what this is called. I'll have to look up the name, but it's in the purple and red bottle. It's okay. It's not terrible. I don't know why they really needed to come out with this flanker of Alien. Alien Goddess and Alien Goddess Intense are the two best in my opinion. I also found Fragrance de Bois Siren and Commodity Juice to be a little bit disappointing. Not bad fragrances. They don't smell terrible, but I don't love them. They're incredibly expensive, especially Fragrance de Bois Siren, and I just wanted a little bit more. I was hopeful that it was going to be, you know, that best launch of the year. I love the pink bottle, the pink rhinestones. It's nice. I feel like I've smelled it before. It feels a little bit done before. Not the best I've smelled from the brand. Commodity Juice, it's fruity, it's a little bit too earthy, too overpowering for my nose. It's really not refined, not overly feminine and princessy, which is my style. So I could see how other people would really appreciate these. They're just not right for me personally. This year, we also had two major designer fragrance collection launches, Balmain and Fendi. Between the two, Fendi is definitely my favorite. There are some incredible fragrances in this set. I picked up both of the Discovery sets. Sempre Mio is my favorite. Casa Grande was really nice. I also really liked Ciao Amore was another really great fragrance from this set. Prima Terra is one of the worst fragrances I have ever smelled. It is earthy, it's dirty. Definitely not my style. I wouldn't even say it's a masculine fragrance. It just smells really bad. So that was my one major disappointment from this set. But overall, I felt like this launch was pretty strong. Balmain, on the other hand, was a major letdown. I think this is one of the largest fragrance fails of 2024. Balmain is a pretty well-known luxury house. They have iconic fashions. They might not have the history and heritage of other brands, but they have the name recognition. And for a house as big as Balmain, I expected their fragrance launch to be really amazing, or at least on the same level as most other designer houses, and that is not the case at all. I went through this set, I picked out a handful of favorites, I tried these on the skin, I wore them, and I cannot say that any of these fragrances are full bottle worthy. None of them are worth $300. A couple of them are just downright bad. They smelled like stinky socks. My favorite fragrance on the skin was Carbone. It has musk, rose, and suede. Very nice, enjoyable to wear, but not that amazing. Definitely not worth $300. I'm hugely disappointed in this fragrance launch. I think they should start from scratch. Honestly, they should just get rid of all of these and start over again. There is so much strong competition with fragrance, not just from other designer brands, from niche brands, from the smaller houses that have way more affordable fragrances that are a million times better than these. I don't know what they were thinking with these. The opposite of Fendi. It doesn't seem like they went with the well-known perfumers. Doesn't seem like they went for quality. They just sort of slapped the Balmain label on a really beautiful bottle and hoped for the best. I don't see these lasting a very long time. I will be shocked if in a couple years Balmain fragrance is still around. It's so bad. And that completes my list of the best and worst fragrance launches of 2024 so far. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. If there's anything I missed that you think is must try worthy, drop me a comment. We'll keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.